welcome to my channel. So I'm back with another story time, and I hope you guys are ready for this one because it's a little bit crazy just like the rest of my stories. Before I start, I do want to mention that I am moving around everywhere, okay? Like, I'm sorry about that. I'm just trying to see background I like the most, but we'll see. Just please bear with me for now, okay? I do want to start right away. So, like always, I am going to be drinking throughout my video. Today I have a margarita, okay? I had a mix that it was like a little bit light, and I have tequila, so here goes some margarita. And if you guys want to drink anything or whatever you guys want, go get them and let's just get started. Like I mentioned, this story it's a little crazy, okay? I'm gonna try my best to tell the PG version of this story because it is YouTube and I can't be like saying all these bad things, okay? So I am gonna try my best to keep it as PG as possible, okay? So let's just get started. This video does take place when I was around, I think I was like 18 or 19 years old. It was one of my rebel stages, and where I mentioned that I used to sneak out. So when I started doing that, I got a little bit confident and I started telling my grandma that I was gonna go stay at Jade's house. I did mention her before. She was my best friend. I would tell her, hey, I'm gonna stay at Jade's house, and I would stay somewhere else. Please don't do what I do. It's bad, 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 bad by me. I remember this day, my best friend Jade, she comes up to me and she tells me like, hey, there's gonna be a concert, and I love this band, okay? If you guys know it, it's Banda MS. And she was all like, let's go see it. So I was like, yeah, like I'm down. We ended up telling a group of friends, like, hey, like this band is coming. Do you guys want to go with us? Back then, we used to have like a little group. So it was my friend Jade, and it was that friend that saw me fall. I forgot his name. I ended up naming him Mario, so I'm gonna name him Mario again. So it was Jade, Mario, and it was two other friends. So we're just gonna name her Susan, and we're just gonna name him Ned. So it was the four of us, plus there was another friend. He kind of left like in the middle, so he's not really like important to the story. So like there was just another friend with us. Ended up us like like getting our tickets, and we're all ready, and we started kind of talking about it, and Jade mentioned that, hey, like, why not just get a hotel room and stay at the hotel room? And I was like, girl, like, my grandma is not gonna let me stay at a hotel with like two other guys. Like, there's no way. Like, if there's guys, I'm not allowed to be there. And then she's like, well, how about you just tell her that you're gonna stay with me, and then like, instead of staying at my house, we're gonna stay at the hotel, and then I'll tell my mom something else. And I was like, okay, like, are you sure it's gonna work? And she's like, yeah, like, let's just do it. And I was like, okay, fine. So, that's what we did. The day of the concert, I remember my uncle was getting surgery, and it was actually like really big surgery. So, I was at the day at the concert, I was at the hospital with my uncle. So Jade calls me and she tells me, hey, like, I'm on my way. I just got out of work and I'm gonna go pick you up. We're gonna go to the hotel, get the room, and then we're gonna go to your apartment, get your stuff, and then we're gonna go back to the hotel, get ready, and then go to the concert. And I was like, okay, like, sounds good. So she ends up picking me up from the hospital, and like, everything's fine. I tell my grandma, like, hey, I'm gonna go stay at Jade's house, and she knows her and she trusts her, so she let me go. She's like, okay, fine. I told her I was gonna go to a concert, and then I told her that I was gonna go to Jade's house. So she tells me, okay, like, that's fine, go for it. So, I say goodbye, and Jade ends up picking me up from the hospital, and then we go to the hotel. we get the room, and then we go to my apartment, and then we come back. So when we come back, it was just us two, and we were at the hotel getting ready, doing our thing, trying to look cute. And we were at the hotel, our friends started coming in. So Susan came in, and then Mario came in, and then Ned came in. So it was like five of us, and we were all getting ready. We were taking pictures, we were looking cute and whatnot. And then finally, it was time to go to the concert. We ended up going to the concert, and girl, we were, what, 18 years old, 19, and no one was old enough to get drinks, so we were sober. We were at this concert, and we were just, just listening to music, having fun. My other friend comes, and he was sitting right next to me, and we were just kind of singing, just having fun. Like, that's it. Finally, the concert ends, and this is where like things get just a little crazy, okay? Just a little bit. But first, I have to have a little sip. Finally, the concert ends, and we end up going to the hotel. And when we were at the hotel, I don't remember who brought a bottle of tequila, and girl, oof, tequila bad for me, even though I'm drinking margarita. But like straight, just like shots and stuff, it just hits me like no other alcohol. Okay, we have a bottle of tequila at the hotel, so we all end up at the hotel. And I remember Susan actually sneaked out. She didn't ask to go to the concert. She sneaked out, and for her telling Ned, like, hey, can you take me to my house? Because like I kind of just want to go back in and then act like I'm there, and then I'll sneak back out, and then I'll come to the hotel. He was like, yeah, sure, like I'll take you. So they end up leaving, and at the room, it's me, Jade, and Mario. And honestly, I was like fifth wheeling it, okay? Like they had a thing going on. Susan and Ned had a thing going on. So it was them. And while we were at the hotel, like they started doing their thing, their little thing. And like I was just in the bed, and honestly, my head was hurting so bad. Like super, super bad. I remember when they like finished kissing and doing whatever, Mario comes up to me and he tells me, hey, like, do you want a shot? And I was like, sure, like I'm down. Like I have a big headache, but honestly, like if it helps, like I'm so down. So he's like, okay, like let's take a shot. So, he gives me like a little glass. He gets a shot glass, and we take a shot. So we end up taking so many, I don't even remember how many shots we took. Like we finished half of the bottle like in 20 minutes or less, like something like that. Like it was just shot after shot after shot, and girl, like I was feeling it. I was so drunk already. Like it was bad. And I was to the point, like I was drunk, but my head was still hurting. So I don't remember. I think Jade had pills, or Ad had pills or something like that. And I ended up taking like Tylenol or something for my head. I found out, I mean, it doesn't really do anything. Like mixing with the alcohol and like taking like pills like for your headache, it doesn't really affect it. Like it might get you drowsy, and obviously like it might affect your liver. So please don't do this, okay? Like don't take pills while you're drinking. Don't mix anything, even though it's like not super bad or anything, but just don't do it, okay? It's like bad for your liver. And anyways, like I ended up taking like pills when I was drunk, and I just like completely knocked out, and I was just sleeping on the bed. So at this point, like again, Mario and Jade end up doing their little thing. I was laying down in the bed, and then they get a phone call from Susan and from Ned saying that they're coming back. And they ask us, like, hey, do you guys want something from McDonald's? And I was like, heck yeah, like, please. And they're like, sure, like, what do you want? So I ended up getting like a spicy McChicken and like, like everything fine. So again, I think I just end up like knocking out on the bed. And then, like they come back and they brought us our McDonald's and we start eating. I took one bite of the hamburger and girl, I knocked out again. So I remember just leaving it like on next to me on the bed. We're eating and like finishing their food and I'm like sleeping. Okay, I'm knocked out because I was so drunk. My head was hurting, so I just knocked out completely. And next thing that I remember is I wake up, like I open my eyes and like the lights are off, but I just like the bed is moving, so it was just going like this, and I was like, what the heck? Like, what's going on? And I turn around and I see Ned and Susan, like, girl, they were getting like hot and heavy here, and I was like, what the heck? I was like, okay, like whatever, I guess you guys can have the bed. So I ended up just like getting up and I go like around the bed and then I'm like right next to them, but on the floor. Okay, so I just lay down on the floor, and then Jade and Mario, they were on the floor too, but they were on the other side. Now, like I just ended up falling asleep again because I was super drunk that I just knocked out again on the floor. I just end up waking up again, and this time, like I was so drunk. Susan and Ned were right next to me on the bed, and I just stare at them and I just look at them. And, in my drunk state, I was like, why are they fighting? Why are they fighting? Like, are they okay? Like, I was like, worried because they were making so much movement and so much noise that I was like, why are they fighting? And then I realized that, girl, they were not fighting, okay? It was completely the opposite. Like my cousin says, they were doing the dance with no pants, okay? And girl, like I stared and I was like, oh damn, okay, yeah, they're definitely not fighting. So I kind of just like turned around and I ended up just falling asleep, and like that's pretty much it. I was like, you guys could do your thing, like I don't want to see it, but like I'm gonna turn around. So I ended up just like knocking out again. And girl, we had to wake up at like 5, 6 in the morning because Jade was gonna go in at like, I don't know, 7 in the morning or like 6 in the morning. I don't remember, like super early. So when I wake up, I'm still drunk, like super, super drunk. Like if I just took a shot. Like I was super, super drunk. And I wake up and TMI, my dress was like halfway and I was like over here looking like crap. And they just stare at me and they're like good morning. And I was like, oh sorry, like pulling down my dress and whatever. It's like good morning. And we ended up getting ready and girl, we were still so drunk. And I remember Mario was on the floor before we left the hotel. He was on the floor with a bottle of tequila, like he was just like drinking it, and he was like super drunk still, and I was drunk too. Okay, we ended up getting into a car. So Jay tells me, hey, Ned is gonna drop you off to your home. And I was so mad. I was like, no, like, I don't want him dropping me off. Like, I'm gonna go walk. Like, girl, I was just like, I was drunk still. Like, and it was like, what, 6 in the morning? And they end up like calming me down and they're like, no, you're gonna stay right here and Ned is gonna take you. So I ended up saying, like, okay, fine. And Ned ends up taking me home. So, girl, when I get home, my grandma is there and she looks at me and she's like, come on. She's like, we have to go. Like, we have to go to your uncle. He's in the hospital. He's about to get out. Like, we have to go. So I was I was still drunk, okay? And I was like, what? Like, what's going on? And then she's like, come on, get ready. Like, hurry, 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 come on. Well, like, what are you waiting? And I was like, okay. So I go to my room, I go to the restroom, take a shower. Even with the shower, okay, I was still drunk. Like, it was bad. Like, I've never woken up like super drunk like that, okay? But I took a shower and I ended up getting to the hospital. Like, my grandparents took me and then we went to the hospital. We get there and I was still drunk, okay? Like, it was so bad. And I remember like going to the restroom and calling Susan, and I tell her like, hey, I just need you to reassure me that I'm actually with my grandparents and I'm not dreaming this. And she starts laughing at me, and then she's like, girl, like, you are with your grandparents, you're still drunk, just try to snap out of it, like slap some water to your face so you could kind of wake up a little bit, like, but you're fine, you're with your grandparents. And like, she kind of, calmed me down again. And I was like, okay. So I like end up going to the sink all drunk and just getting like water and just like splashing and just going like this, right? And just taking like the water off and going out to my grandparents. And like, I feel like my grandma knew. I'm like super sure. I'm like super sure that my grandma knew that I was like super drunk. Okay? Like, I'm sure. Because like the next story, I end up doing the same thing, and I end up telling my grandma I was going to go to Jade's house, and I went somewhere else and I end up getting caught. So that's for next week, okay? I'm just gonna stop right here, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please, if you guys like my videos, please subscribe, please like them, and I appreciate that you guys watch my videos. Thank you so much for watching.